Hello fiber friends, and today we will be learning the extended simple stitch for Tunisian crochet. We are starting here with our yarn, and obviously we're going to be starting with a slip stitch. And for those who do not know, the slip stitch, this is another way that I do it. Take your pointer finger, poke it up through the middle, make an X right there, hold that X, spin it through your fingers, go here and pull through. Now that's a little more complicated than the last one that I showed, but if you want to see the last one that I showed, then you can go to my previous video. Today I'm going to be using my 10mm Tunisian crochet hook, which is so much longer than a regular crochet hook. Obviously, as you can see, it's about the size of my forearm. You put that slip stitch onto there and pull tight. I'm going to chain 9. Now this extended Tunisian crochet, usually with Tunisian crochet, whichever stitch you are making, you do one less chain. 9 and 10. One less chain. So I wanted 10 stitches, so I have 9 chains because this loop will count as your first stitch. Now we are going to do our base. When you flip over, you will see all of the little bumps right here that are running through the middle of these chains. That is where we will be inserting our hook. Now the easiest way that I find is not to try to push my hook this way, but to hook it from the edge of the hook right here and go through that bump. Yarn over and pull through. Again, with the tip of the hook here, I go in from here, go upward through that bump, pull through, yarn over, and pull through. And I do that to all the bumps to the end of the row. Okay, now we have all of our loops on the hook, and this is why you need such a long hook. There are even longer, but for this purpose, we are just using this. So once you finished this, you will take your yarn and you'll hook it through your hook, through the first loop, and the first loop only, right there. And then you will pull this working yarn through 2 loops, and again only 2 loops, and you do that all the way down. Okay, now this is our foundation rows. This is how most Tunisian crochet will start. This is our foundation row. Now this one, because it's extended, if you have watched the previous video, then you will already know that we are working in the front bars. That does not change. We will be working on the front bars, but this is extended. So what we're going to do is, still with this loop, this is our first stitch. So we skip this one here that it's coming out of right at the end because that is our first stitch. We chain 1, so we pull the working yarn through our loop once. And that is a chain 1. Then we will go in between this next one. So this was our first stitch. This is our second. You see that loop here, right? On that first bar there is where we are going to insert our hook, yarn over, pull through once. Then we are going to chain 1 through that stitch. Now I'm going to do that again. So just like our regular simple stitch, this, you find the next loop. You see that loop right here. this bar, the front bar, is what we will push our hook into, yarn over, pull through. Then we take our working yarn and we pull it through one more time, and that will be a chain 1. And you will do that all the way until this last one right here. Not the last stitch, but until this one right here. Okay, now that we are at our last stitch, you see where this whole thing is here? You will be pulling those 2 loops, and something I like to do is just go in right here and take that second one behind. So you're working that full thing. There will be a bar right there, and you pull up and chain 1. That is this row. Now what we will be doing is all back passes will be the same. You will pull through 1 stitch, then you will pull through 2 loops and pull through 2 loops again, all the way down to where you began. Okay, and this is what we have. There's a lot more gapping than in our last stitch. It's why it's extended, so it's just a little longer because it's that extended stitch. Now we are going to repeat what we did for that last row. We will chain 1. Now this time the loops are so much easier because they're a little longer. You see that loop? Now the bar that's closest to you, you will insert your hook right in there, pull through, and then chain 1. Again, with that loop in that first bar, the one closest to you, push your hook through there, yarn over, pull through, and chain 1. And we're going to do that all the way down. Okay, now that we are at our last stitch, you see this right here. We are going to insert our hook in this loop right here because we don't want to disturb that chain 1 space because that causes the extension. So we will go into this one right here. So you're going to skip this and go right in here, lift this one up, push into that next chain, and you see how it goes around that V. Then we will pull through that and chain 1. You can already see that it's already so much longer than the stitches we did before. Now we are going to pull through 1 loop, then through 2 loops and 2 loops again, all the way down to the beginning. Now I'm going to work some extra rows just so that the pattern can be more easily seen, and I will get back to you when I am done. And ba-da-da-da. So this is the extended Tunisian simple stitch. I think this is about a couple extra rows. You can see all of the bar details and all of this right here. I will say that this will probably look better with a smaller hook. But again, I use 10mm just so that you can see the stitches a lot better and to reduce the curling, because Tunisian does tend to curl up like this whenever you're working with it. Usually, being able to remedy that is using a larger hook or just blocking your work, which is a whole nother thing that I will not get into today. But this is the extended Tunisian simple stitch. Alright, I hope you were able to learn well and that these will look very beautiful in your project. Alright, happy crafting!